Hello and welcome. This is Cheryl. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today we're going to look at day 4 of the Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar. So every day I am opening up one of the boxes from this Advent Calendar and creating something with it. And I'm trying to use mostly stuff from the calendar plus whatever I need to cut out and color. So in this day 4, you get a from, me, to, and you die set. You get both the script as well as the shadow, which is awesome. Perfect for this season, but you don't necessarily only need to use it for holiday or Christmas makes. I love the fact that you get both the inside part as well as the shadow. So I decided to make a gift tag with it. I'm going to use the card die that is from day 1. And I'm also going to use the kind of scalloped border die from day 3. So I have a background here that's done with alcohol inks on foil tape that I did for another project that I had just laying around, and I thought it might be kind of funky for the car. I also used it to cut out the script part of the word dies. Now the one thing, I'm doing a shadow in black, so I did have to cut them out a couple times because some of the areas of my background was a little bit dark and you couldn't really see them as well as I would have liked on top of the black. I could have just taken some solid cardstock, but because I had this background and I was already using it, I thought it'd be an interesting look for the words. So they're actually very, very easy to cut out, even with this foil taped cardstock. Very easy to cut out, very easy to get out of the die, which I love. I love using Spellbinders dies because I have never ever had an issue with any of them. So it's great to be able to get such a nice thin font and be able to cut it out really, really easily with even cardstock that is covered with alcohol ink foil. So I've got all the pieces. I cut them all off screen. I've already done it once on here, so I figured you didn't need to see me cutting all the little bits and pieces for it. I'm just going to assemble the car. Now for this one, instead of using that little gift that comes with this die set, I'm just using that tree that I had cut to show on day 1 that you could put a tree at the top. But you could absolutely use the gift die that comes with the set. It would be really, really cute with that as well. And it would be really suitable for the to you from me part of it as well. I just really wanted to create it a little bit differently from the first die, just to show its versatility. So I'm gluing all the pieces together with Distress Collage Medium. I love using the Distress Collage Medium because it dries clear and it dries matte. So if anything happens to squish out of it, you're never going to see. And that's especially nice for such fine script dies for these words here, to glue them onto the shadow. You'll see sometimes there's a little bit of the white from the glue showing, but once it's dry, it's completely matte. You don't even know that it's there. So anytime I glue something together, I put an acrylic block on top of it just to hold everything in place and make sure that it stays flat while it's drying, especially since I'm using some liquid glue. And when you're gluing together such a fine script onto a shadow, you'll find that holding it with tweezers is very, very helpful. It just frees up your hand. It shows more of the back of the die cut to put the adhesive on, and it's just really helpful for placement as well. You don't get your hands in the way and you can actually see what you're doing. So now that all of my pieces are done, while they are drying, I'm going to cut out the pieces for the tag. Now I'm just making a tag. I'm just using the scallop edge from day 3 to create the bottom of the edge of the tag, a little bit of a scalloped edge. And then I'm also going to use that same die on the top of it to kind of create a pointed top. Now this isn't my favorite shape of tag when I'm creating tag, but I wanted to try to use that die set from day 3 in a little bit of a different way. So I've also die cut a little edge for the bottom of the tag for the road for the card to be driving on, and I cut it out of that alcohol inked foil background so it all coordinates together. Now I'm just making marks at the top and in the center so that I know exactly where the center of that cardstock is, and I know how high I want that die set to go. I'm doing this on the back so that I don't have any marks on the front of my tag. However, because I'm doing this on the back, the die cut edge is a little bit funny. I don't necessarily love the back side of a die cut edge. You could easily do this on the front and then erase those pencil lines. I thought I would just do it on the back. Either way will absolutely work. As long as your pencil lines are nice and light, you should easily be able to get them off. So I just used the curved edge of that die to do the top of the tag, and you can see we get a nice scalloped edge there as well as the scalloped edge on the bottom. This is quite a large tag. I wanted to be able to accommodate that car and not have it squeezed or squished onto a tag. You don't have to make them this big. I wanted there to be lots of room for the to you from me part of the die set as well. Now that that tag is done, I can glue all the pieces on there, and it's very quick and easy to glue all those bits and pieces down there. This is a great way to use up some cardstock scraps and little bits and bobs that you may have laying around. Tags are perfect for that, and this one could be a holiday tag with the tree on top of the car, but you could do the gift instead and have it be a birthday tag or something else. It doesn't necessarily have to only be for holiday use, which I love about this. And I love the fact that these word dies are all separate, so you could put them however you want them. You can line them up, or you can have them on the diagonal like I'm doing here. I'm just putting the acrylic block on there till it's completely dried. And then the last step is to cut the edges of those road pieces off. And then we have a complete tag there with a cute little car. I just love that car. It's so adorable. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'll see you tomorrow for day 5. I really appreciate you being here. Have a great day.